Okay, when I put this comic on the poll, I thought that Godslap was gonna win, or at least one of the Gooner ones. But this one is a godly pick. I mean, Radiant Black. You're looking at it. Am I right? Oh, okay. It was just a bad joke. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Pumpkinator, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Radiant Black comic series. Released in 2021 by Kyle Higgins and Marcelo Costa for Image Comics. And this comic, just to be frank, is freaking awesome. And it's no mystery why. The writer Kyle Higgins has some serious comics under his belt. He's written for Batman Beyond 2.0, The Rise of Ultraman, and the 2016 Power Rangers run. All really strong comics. And if you're a huge comic fan, I'm sure you see him as a well-regarded comic book writer. So you know this is going to be good. And this one is his most recent and ongoing comic. So, go out and buy it now. Please. Always support the official release. Plus, if you couldn't tell from the cover, the art is magnificent. The art that Kosa and Carrie made is fantastic, and I absolutely love their art style. But that's enough poll writing for right now. Let's get into the actual comic. Issue 1 starts with a man in LA on the phone with his bank. Unfortunately, he's been rejected for his loan application, which is pretty rough because he's $38K in the hole. He asks them if they can reconsider, but they say his debt to income ratio is pretty high. But like, yeah, that's why he needs a loan though, right? Which is exactly what he said. He tries to convince him to reconsider by saying that he can pay everything after his novel is published, but they don't budge. When they hang up, the man breaks down into tears. This poor soul, his name is Nathan Burnett, and he's actually an Uber driver. And he's actually picking up somebody right now mid-breakdown. Bro, I've been there, dog. We then cut to a week later, where we see Nathan had to resort to moving back in with his parents in Lockport, Illinois, which is where Higgins is from. His family is pretty excited he's back, but Nate's feeling a little bit like a failure. But he's got no time to focus on that because his friend Marshall is there, and he invites him on a night out of town. They go to a bar where Nate tells Marshall about his whole debt situation. He tells him that he's banking on this book deal to solve all of his problems, but he just needs to actually finish the book. Marshall asks him if his parents are going to help him financially, but they actually have no clue about his situation because he's too proud to tell them. Marshall starts messing with him a little bit, which actually makes him feel a little better, and they have a bunch of fun at the bar. When they leave, Marshall's had a little too much. He talks about riding together with Nate, but he's not too sure about that one. When Marshall's about to get in his car to leave, they see a mysterious orb in the distance, or like a black hole thing. They wonder what it is too, until Nate touches it, which I don't know why you would do that, but pop off, King. The orb engulfs him and sets him up with this cool looking suit. Then when I moved back home, I didn't get a cool looking suit, I just got depression. Nate says he feels a little different, and Marshall's like, well, you look a little different, and shows him a picture of his new look, which freaks him out so much that he throws up. The police suddenly show up and ask him what's going on here, but Marshall doesn't like that and says he's a First Amendment auditor and picks a fight with them while they're standing on the train tracks, even while a train is coming. When a train's about to hit them, Nate pushes Marshall and levitates the train and the cops out of the way. They tell him to put him down, but Marshall makes them promise that they're not going to arrest them. Then they fly away as they put the peeps down. They fly on top of a silo where they start geeking out about what just happened. Well, until Nate starts digging into Marshall for everything that happened at the railroad. He then confides in his friend and tells him that the worst part about coming home is that he felt like he had a chance and he wasted it. He feels like such a screw up because of all the missed opportunities in LA. And now that he has his power, he finally feels like he can do something good. Marshall tells him that he knows that he can do something worthwhile. And with the new power, he's pretty one of a kind. But there's actually a red version of him robbing a bank in Chicago, so I don't know about all that. Now that was just issue 1, and if you couldn't tell, it's peak. I'm wildly invested in these two. Maybe it's because I can relate to Nathan, but like my friend Eddie is practically Marshall. Like he's the GOAT. Minus the whole like picking a fight with the cops thing. I don't know what that's all about. Now you're probably wondering, what's up with that red guy? Well, it turns out the cops actually have an answer for that. The cops were able to track down the two and were able to inform them of the whole red guy situation and ask them for help, or more like threatens them. Nathan goes to Chicago and Ubers around asking people if they've heard anything about it, which doesn't go super well at first until he meets a guy who says he saw everything and tells him that the bad guy is in a junkyard. When he tries to talk to the bad guy, he gets punched into the sky and gets beat up a whole bunch. And his car's stolen. Dang, my guy just can't catch a break. He chases after him to get his car back, but the red guy just drives it off a bridge. This red guy's a menace, bro. Fortunately, Nate's able to use his powers to save his car and to retrieve the stolen money, which he considers keeping for himself, but ultimately returns to the bank because he's the GOAT. I would have kept that shit. Now, obviously, I don't want to cover everything, especially since it's ongoing still, but I do want to cover some of the early plot points. So later on, the Red Radiant finds him and starts attacking the two of them. And in the fight, a building collapsed on top of Nate, killing him. What? Honestly, bro, I was gonna be like freaking out, but Higgins killed his self-insert character. Like, mad respect, bro. Not a lot of writers would do that. I did love that guy though. But then the Radiant power gets transferred over to Marshall, and the power's consciousness tells him that a war is brewing and wants to know if he'll do anything to save this world, which he says yes to. But fortunately, Nate's still alive, just barely, and now he's in a coma. So Marshall decides to get revenge for his good buddy. They duke it out heavy, but Marshall kicks her ass and reveals that she's a lady? And her name is Satumi Soni. And the reason why she's been robbing banks is because her husband drained their bank account because he has a crazy bad gambling problem. He ain't shit. Her powers are different though. Instead of being able to levitate and use telekinesis, she has to absorb metal to be able to make like a red mecha suit. It's actually pretty cool. She also has her own miniseries called Red Radiant that you should read. I would say she's like a really caring person, but like with some wild anger issues, like very morally gray. But I like her. They keep on duking it out, but their fight gets interrupted by two more Radiants. They tell them that they're in some sort of danger, and they get attacked. The one attacking them is 001, who is like the first real villain that they'll face. They try to take him on, but get away by teleporting to Tokyo. But that doesn't really do anything because he just follows them and keeps attacking them, which makes the Pink Radiant panic and teleports them all to different places and sends her and Marshall into space, where they see an all-out war breaking out. They get attacked by some like alien things, but they work together to send themselves to a Japanese forest, or Russia, close enough I guess. Marshall and Pink power down to try to lay low, while the other two capture 001 and question him, but they don't really get anywhere because he just gets out immediately and attacks them. Red gets straight stabbed through the abdomen, but she uses the metal and the sword to power up and beat the crap out of 001. And then when the fire colors have the upper hand, he makes a huge explosion to make him back off. This is when Pink and Black pull up and they're ready to join the fray, but 001 threatens them. But then Black suddenly makes a giant hand that grabs him and absorbs him. Why didn't you just do that from the jump? Well, either way, they're finally safe, and Red's all healed from the fight, which is great because Marshall wants to kick her ass, but Yellow tells him to chill out because there's bigger fish to fry, and they're gonna have to work together to get things to work out, which is fair because the technology that the aliens have gotten into the hands of some not so nice people. And now that's just where I'm gonna stop. But if you couldn't tell from me like straight pole riding this from the beginning, I absolutely love this story. The sheer fun that I've had reading this, I mean, ask my friend King, like he knows. I've been talking about it every single day. I'm so engrossed that when I found out that Satumi's bank account got drained by her husband, I physically gasped. Also, the story has really good character moments that make you instantly like the characters. Like early on, there's a conversation that Nate has about a situation with his dad that feels so real. His dad clearly wants the best for him and wants to give him the space so he can do his own thing, but it's also being real about his current situation, his current life. And now that he's hurt, I don't even want to know what that family's going through. We also see like Satumi's family, and we can tell that her husband genuinely does love her. He just has a problem, which is so frustrating because it's very obvious she loves him too. It's just, you know, it's a bad beat, you know? Or like the small moment between Pink and Marshall in Moscow. It's like, those are the things that really make a story. Speaking of Pink, she also has her own miniseries that I think you should check out. Now there's obviously more to this comic, and there's a lot more epic fights. Wait, why does that look so familiar? But I definitely recommend that you read this comic. It's a lot of fun and you won't be able to put it down. Currently there's 40 issues. I covered the first like 8. So if you guys want me to cover more, just let me know and I'll be glad to do it. So just let me know. But that's what I thought about the comic. I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Like the video and hey, hype it up so that more people can see it. It's free and it really helps me out. And subscribe so I can feel a crumb of validation. But I'll see you guys in the next one. And make sure you tell your family that you love them. Goodbye now.